Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video we're making this gorgeous mandala card. You can see all of the different layers in there, and then it's got these corners cut out of it for even more intricacy, and it's a really pretty card. So this design is available in the Craft with Sarah Clubhouse. If you're already a member, simply go to your account, log in, and you'll be able to download the file. If you're not a member, go to craftwithsarah.com/clubhouse to find out more and sign up. Let's take a look at what this card looks like when we open up the project in Cricut Design Space. Here's the project all opened up in Cricut Design Space. So you can see all the different layers, and then you've got the draw layer in the middle of the mandala. If you want to, you can resize it. It's all grouped, so you can resize it all in one go. I wanted to cut the main card out of A4 paper, and I did find that I had to resize it a little bit smaller to get it to cut. So I had to change the height to 5.6, and then when I clicked make it, I was able to change the card front to be cut out of A4. When it was the size that it is when you first open the project, which is 5.75 inches, it was a little bit too big. So if you're using A4, you will have to resize it just like that. So you can go ahead and cut everything out, and the Cricut would draw that lovely mandala, and then you've got all of the different colours. You don't have to stick to red, you can cut it out in whatever colours you want. So get your materials ready, and then I'll show you how to stick it all together. So here's everything cut out and ready to be stuck together. Before I start sticking though, I'm going to colour in my mandala. And that's because if I make a mistake, I can then cut it again, and I haven't already stuck it onto my card. So I've got these Nuvo alcohol markers. These are brand new to me. I have never used them before. I've never even used alcohol markers before, so please forgive me if I am not very good at them. I'm guessing they're kind of like super fancy felt tips. I probably insulted a load of people by saying that. But here we go. So I'm just going to colour this in. I've got 5 different shades of red to match on my red card. So let's give this a go. So here it is coloured in. It's now time to get all my card put together. So first I'm going to fold this in half. And because of the cutouts, I find it's easier to fold the blank half on top. You just get a bit of a crisper fold. So let's do that and get it down that score line. There we are. Push it down to make sure you've got a nice, good fold on it. And before I do anything else, I'm going to stick this on the inside. So you can either use double-sided tape or you can use glue. I'm going to use tape because it is just instantly in position then. And I've got this tape runner. It's called the Easy Runner Grand, and it is amazing. I love it. I've tried so many tape runners over the years, and this one is by far the best. So I'll drop a link to this in the description of this video. So let's add some tape between the cutouts. You want to make sure you don't go over the cutouts. I'm also not going all the way to the edge because this square is a little bit smaller than the front of the card. I don't want you to be able to see the tape. Put some bits across the diagonal. I think that should be enough. So I can line this up, try and get it straight, which is my number one thing I struggle with when making cards. I think that's pretty much spot on. There we go. Okay, so now we've got that nice red going through the holes. Let's put our mandala together next, and for that we're going to need some 3D foam pads. I'm using these foam pads and they're actually quite big, so I'm going to cut some smaller so that I don't have to use as many. Okay, so assemble your mandala layers in size order with the biggest at the bottom. And then we're going to get the big one and the next biggest one. Turn the slightly smaller one upside down and add some foam pads. There we are, and then peel the tops off to reveal that stickiness underneath. And then I'm going to stick this into the middle. And push down to seal those foam pads. I'm just debating whether I want to add foam to the white bit or if I'm going to glue it. I'll come back to that in a minute. So now take the smallest coloured piece that you've cut out and we're going to add foam on the back of this one too. I've just noticed I managed to get the pen all over my thumbnail and finger. I think I need more practice. Let's peel these off, and then I'm going to make sure that this is positioned the same way as that bottom layer with the spiky bits in the same place, and then stick that into the middle too. There. So for this last bit you can either use foam or glue or double-sided tape. I think I'm going to do it flat because I don't want this to become so thick that I have to use a large letter stamp to post it. I want it to go through a normal stamp so it's nice and cheap to post. So let's turn this over. Oh, you can see that all bled through. That probably means I've got it all over my craft mat. That actually looks really pretty. It's kind of like a watercolour effect. So I'm going to glue this onto the rest of my mandala. I'm using this glue, I think it's Collal, not quite sure, but I've just started using this and I love it because it doesn't warp the card when you put it on it. So unlike regular glue, which can cause the card to bend and sort of bubble, this one doesn't do it. It's a solvent-based glue, so you need to use it in a ventilated area, but it's really, really good and it looks like it's going to last a long time. So I bought this on Amazon, and I also bought these teeny tiny little bottles to put it in to use it. I got 12 in a pack, I think, and these are really good because the nozzle is super thin. So when you're doing intricate projects, it's really easy to apply the glue. Again, I'll drop the links in the description of this video if you want to check this out. But it's definitely a great glue to use for paper crafts. So let's put some glue on the back here. And then I'm going to line this up, and again I'm going to make it so that the sticky pointy bits on the edge of the shape are going the same way. Oh look, I've just managed to, where I put glue on my finger just now, it's taken the pen off my nail and put it onto my design. That was very annoying. Okay, so if you get pen on your fingers, wash them. Oh dear. Oh well. I'll think of something to fix that. Alright, so now this is ready to go onto my card, and again, because I don't want to add any more depth to it at this point, I'm going to use some more glue. Glue will also help me stick this right in the middle because it means I've got that little bit of wiggle room whilst the glue dries. So let's give this a go. Think that's in the middle. So let's just push it down a little bit. And there we have our card. But I think I'm going to embellish it a little bit more. I've got these Nuvo crystal drops, and these create little domes of colour on your design, little 3D kind of drops, which is why it's called Nuvo drops. This is the red berry, which I think will work really well. And what I'm actually going to do is add this to some of the edges so that I can cover over that little speck of ink that I smudged. So I've just got a scrap bit of card here. I'm just going to do the first couple to make sure it's coming out okay. And then I'm just going to put some little drops of this onto my corners. So as this settles after you've put it on the card, it goes down into a perfect dome shape, and then it will dry with a 3D effect. So it's kind of like adding the sticky back gemstones, except you've got a whole range of colours to choose from these, and you can make them as big or as small as you want them to be. So I love using these on my cards. And I might also colour in that middle with a really big drop. And then I like how that's looking. I might find another colour to go in those other circles. I've got these two ones. I've got a white or morning June. It says this one dries clear, so I think I'm going to try this because then it might show some of the red through. So put some onto my test bit just to make sure it's all coming out okay. And then put some onto all of these circles. So that's all of those added, and I'm going to leave this for a while to dry. It does take a while to dry. It becomes touch dry in a few minutes, but to be properly dry you want to leave it a few hours, especially because I put really big bits in the middle. But I just love how much extra dimension that gives. It's just like adding little gems on there. It's really, really pretty. So there we have our finished mandala card with the cutout corners. Don't forget to get this design, go to craftwithsarah.com/clubhouse. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more card making and Cricut tutorials. Thank you for watching. Bye.